Hello. It's nice to be here. Thought the introductory talk was a really nice way of framing stuff and a really good discussion afterwards. So hope in some small way that I'll contribute to that. So I'm Angela, I'm a senior lecturer at the Manchester School of Architecture. And I'm presenting our Songs of Resilience project on behalf of my co-authors, Dr. Jo Collinson Scott, who's also known as Jo Mango. A little bit more about her later. Who's a reader in songwriting at the University of the West of Scotland, who can't be here because she's got commitments at the Edinburgh Festival, and also Dr. Joanne Tippett, a senior lecturer in planning at the University of Manchester, who's the founder of Kitzel, which is a toolkit for aiding community planning discussions, and who also developed the Round View, of which you'll hear a little bit more in due course. The Songs of Resilience project was funded by the UK's Arts and Humanities Research Council through an initiative designed to work with 16 to 18-year-olds in the run-up to COP26 in Glasgow. What we've done, essentially, was co-create songs and videos with these young people with the intention of exploring their perceptions of climate change, under a climate-adapted landscape, and how those outputs might encourage intergenerational dialogue. Our team included Jo Mango, what she performs under, and Louis Abbott of the Glasgow-based band Admiral Fallow. They're really great if you want to check them up. As well as Beth Chalmers, who's a video maker with a charity called Vox Liminis. Before I describe more of what we've done, very briefly though, so we've got enough time to listen to the songs, I'm going to start with one of the outputs. This is a song called Traceless. It's one of the more melancholic song out of the two outputs that we had. Initially very simple in its melodic structure, with lyrics that juxtapose lines around what human overconsumption has done to the planet, with how the earth may feel or is perceived. So words like fragile, shelter, home. The song then slows down as it transitions to convey an ability to change the path that we're on. So please listen to the song, and at the very end there'll be a QR code for you to share what you think about it as well, which helps my research. Thank you.
Cotton grass shelters our refracted actions,
returning trees, undoing our election.
Eucalyptus glitter and Irish butterflies, glimmers of hope
coming by the sky.
We are green light,
entangled,
colors you can't break down.
unraveled,
We are green light,
entangled,
colors you can't break down. From soup and from lightning, the second invention.
the weight of the world and the pulse in our reflection.
Only 18 days of silent sunlight captured on the roots of you. We are green light,
Entangled,
colors you can't break down. We are green light,
entangled,
colors you can't break down.
unraveled,
This is the undoing. This is the undoing. This is the to win. This is the art. There are marvelous machines waiting in wings, and fronds and tendrils, and the creeping of things
that turn desolate black to lightest sky. Come
bring you a circle and let them in. We are green light, entangled colors you can't break down. Unravel. We are green light, entangled colors you can't break down. Unravel. We are green light, entangled colors you can't break down.
That's actually a song called The Undoing, which is about that we already know a lot of what we need to do and how humans are actually trying to make some of the things that was discussed in the talk this morning. So we engage with 16 to 18-year-olds. They're a generation that have been dubbed by the Britt Ray, who's a psychologist, as Generation Dread, insofar as they are very knowledgeable about what's happening, but they feel that nothing's really changing and feel a bit kind of powerless within that. These are themes also picked up by Sally Weintraub in her book, The Psychological Roots of the Climate Crisis, talking about how we need to move to encouraging a caring imagination rather than neoliberal exceptionalism. We also framed the project as part of wider thinking about the role of arts in the ecological crisis. Here we draw on Bruno Latour's notion of Gaia, Isabel Stenger's notion of cosmopolitics, where interventions from the non-scientific disciplines can prompt moments of contemplation and dialogue with actors who may not be traditionally represented in our political debates. For Stenger's, propositions from non-scientific disciplines give form to becomings or speculations about the future that can help us see differently in the now. Why songwriting? Well, popular music, whichever variety that you choose to listen to, usually plays a key part in most people's lives in connecting them on deep emotional levels. Music therapy is a very well-established means of improving physical and mental health. And there's also a body of work now and music as well that intends to communicate about climate change. Indeed, as a team, we've undertaken those kind of projects before. Yeah? Yeah. Sorry, just minimizing it for people that are online. But what we wanted to ask here was, could we take the process of songwriting as a tool for engagement and to further explore some of the important issues that we're dealing with? The songs and videos were produced in a very specific landscape in Greater Manchester in the northwest of England, around Warrington, Wigan and Salford. Large-scale coal mines opened here in the 1800s, and until the demise of mining here in the 1950s, 800 million tonnes of coal were extracted. The landscape was dominated by large slag heaps, colliery buildings, over 1,000 pit shafts, and railway lines. The removal of so much coal resulted in land subsiding after the works were gone, and shallow wetlands, known locally as flashes, began to appear as the mining shafts collapsed and the surface sank below the water table. The degraded landscape was left alone for nature to reclaim. In 2017, a £3.2 million project funded by the UK's Heritage Lottery Fund began in order to unite ecologically important sites with a very innovative community engagement programme. The Carbon Landscape is now the name of this area. The carbon unites all aspects of its history, from coal extraction to the restoration of rare peatlands. And species have returned to an area that they'd long since left, including the Manchester Argus butterfly, which left during the Industrial Revolution and was recently sighted again in 2019. So how did we write the songs? We put a call out through our partners, the Lancashire Wildlife Trust, for 16 to 18-year-olds to attend a one-day workshop to at least flesh out the words to some songs and the melodic direction. We started by taking our young people to the sides to go for a walk and then return to a former textile mill that was there for the actual workshop. This was then Joanne Tippett introduced the story of the round view, which is her framework for sustainability, learning, visioning and decision making. The round view is designed to focus on hope and our ability to address the climate crisis through systems thinking and emphasising circularity. Once they kind of worked through the round, it's a very hands-on toolkit as well. We asked participants to reflect on what they'd heard or what they'd learned through the process, and then using the Kitzel toolkit, captured their feelings. So the grey leaves captured negative feelings, yellow captured positive feelings, and brown indicated action. You probably be able to see it, but second down on the left-hand side is my favourite, which is if we can make a negative impact that quickly, then surely we can make a positive one quickly too. We then used a simple list technique to generate the songs. This is a method that underpins songs as diverse as REM's Sidewinder Sleeps Tonight, Billy Ray Cyrus's Achy Breaky Heart, if anybody knows that one, and Dua Lipa's New Rules. Basically, you just write down a list according to your feelings and emotions, given a particular direction and a series of prompts. So here it was how they felt about climate change, the carbon landscape, and the round view. We also brought a set of postcards to prompt further visual stimulus. So each of the participants generated their own list of words and phrases, and then we collectively came together, wrote out a big A3 sheet of the ones that resonated most collectively, then began picking which ones sound like a chorus, something that's quite catchy and gets you, and just trying to kind of knit it together. Given the limitation of time, we identified melodic direction, where we wanted to be hopeful, kind of different juxtapositions, what kind of pace we wanted it to be at, but then left that in the hands of the professional musicians to go away and create something. This is Louis, who is recording the songs in a professional recording studio with Beth filming it as well. Due to what took place under the last remnants of the pandemic, and so due to the Omicron variant, we couldn't have an in-person performance, unfortunately, as planned. Our video making workshop also moved online, where participants, again, they were played demos of the songs and then asked to just simply reflect on what kind of colours came into their head, what visual things they thought about, and use that to generate the tone for what the video should be. Then the participants went out and got their own, they're all in the area, live in the area of the carbon landscape, so they went out with phones, took some images. That will get pushed back to Beth, who then created professional videos. So now it's time for the next song, which is the first song that I discussed, which is Traceless, which is the one where it kind of juxtaposes different ways of feeling, but then ultimately ends on a high note, and hopefully you can pick that up.
We clambered out of the sea at night to climb the mountains and capture light. We sang the sacrifice to be reclaimed, scored the skin, ruled out what lay within, created a mouth with an appetite for everything. We built the tower that punched a hole. We set the cycles, the terrible circles, the roll and roll and roll. It is shelter, we are ruined. It is fragile, we are human. It is futile, we are strong. This is home, we are gone. It is terror, we are one. It is miracle, only child. It is weary, we roll on, we roll on. We can pull it back, push it back. We can put it back, traces, erases, awful try. We can pull it back, push it back. We can put it back, traces, erase this awful try.
Just got a 2-minute warning. So I know that we're running out of time. So I'll quickly discuss that we then showed the videos to a range of community organisations, local activists, policymakers. And here are some of the quotes from the workshop that we had with them. Again, a feeling of hopefulness, and that it allowed them a chance to pause and reflect on what they've done already in a way that didn't really get to do when they're in the everyday jobs of just trying to make the carbon landscape work. But how much that there still is to do. Just the quotes were mainly around the reflectiveness and having that hope, that opportunity to do that. By way of conclusion, I'm still thinking through how to position the research, so all comments and observations are really welcome. Maybe some things I haven't said. The workshops were small, a maximum of 5 participants in each, due to the nature of the songwriting process being too hard to get a big room of people. But in the end, we had 4 participants, and just in general, that age group are incredibly hard to engage with. So I think even 2 nights before the workshops, I thought, I've got no participants, oh my God. And then some just turned up. This may also be something about the co-creation process itself, which is quite interesting. I've written about co-production, co-creation practices in the past. Working with professional musicians in this case, and then want to have some kind of their professional quality in the outputs. Therefore, it's a limited co-creation, limited to the generation of the lyrics and perhaps some melodic direction. There were also intense negotiations over the credits and the licensing of it, which you can get into with professional musicians. In the end, we decided on a Creative Commons license for the lyrics. This was the simplest way, but those were quite a couple of hours of talking it through, which is something that I've never really came across before. And lastly, the production of the songs and their online showing specific groups of people allowed time to reflect on what is a very unique landscape. And now the songs are part of an audio walking tour around that landscape, around the recreational parts within the Carlton landscape, hopefully for all to enjoy as well. Thank you.